Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. We're live and on the air, and we're going to start off in Alabama, down there with the head coach of the Helena Huskies, head coach Richie Busby. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm good, Stork. How about yourself?
I'm doing real good. Well, Helena Huskies setting at 2-0. Came up here to North Alabama to Buckhorn and took on the Bucks and came away with a big win, 55-17. Talk a little bit about it, Coach.
Well, it started out kind of slow. They went up 7-0. We put ourselves in bad field position. Our kicker kind of mishit a ball off the tee and gave them the ball at the 40-yard line. So they went down and scored. We were able to come back and match the score. Then he does it again, gives them the ball near midfield, and they go down and kick a field goal. And after that, we kind of settled in. Had 7 rushing touchdowns. We were loaded up and leaving Huntsville at 9:50, so the game didn't last very long. I think there was 14 passes thrown total in the whole game.
Wow. So you guys just after you got in and after you got on top of them in the running game, your defense must have responded, kept them off the field from an offensive perspective, and got your offense right back out on the field.
That's right. Our defense gave up, I think, 161 total yards, and 79 of those were in the last drive of the fourth quarter. Against some of our younger guys. Our defense played really well, and shut the run game down, and that's something they do a good job of, and we feel like we do a pretty good job running the football. So good night for us, for us to go on the road, 2 hours, 45 minutes away, had a bus breakdown on the way, leaving out of Birmingham. It ended up getting back going, so it didn't get us behind too far. So, just one of those things when you go on the road like that, you just never know what's going to happen. But our kids played, held their composure, and they were focused and got there, other than the rough start, the first couple minutes of the game, just kind of settled in and took care of business.
Yeah, and if you had to talk about some of the kids, sounds like your quarterback had a really good night. Sounds like your tailback had a good night. Talk a little bit about those guys that were out there on the field doing it for you.
Well, both our we feel like we have 2 really, really good tailbacks. Obviously, our junior, Jordan Washington, had one heck of a sophomore season, and the other night he had 10 rushes for 116 yards, and then we had A.J. Horsted, who's the senior, had 11 rushes for 105 yards. Both of them had a couple touchdowns. One of our little receivers had several good catches. Hunter Hale had a long 60-yard touchdown run on a screen pass and returned a punt that actually got called back, but it was a very good punt return. So we kind of spread it around, had several of our younger backs who scored touchdowns Friday night that had a chance to get their first varsity action. So excited to see those guys get a chance to contribute because they work hard during the week.
Absolutely. Special teams respond like you wanted it to?
Yeah, I thought we did a pretty good job there. Other than Austin, I really feel good about our little sophomore kicker. He's going to be a heck of a player for us, and he just mishit one off the tee. We were trying to squib it down the field, and he hit a guy right in the chest with it. Actually popped in our hands, and we fumbled, and they got the ball at midfield. Then does it again the next time he's kicking off. But other than that, he did a heck of a job. He's actually one of our players of the week. Hang time on his kickoffs were tremendous after that. And he also handles our punting and our field goal duty. So he had a great night, and our kickoff team did a good job, right? And like I told you last week, we're continuously, evaluating guys and making changes in special teams, trying to get better in that area than we've been in the past.
Well, and it's an opportunity to get some guys out on the field, and as a coach used to say to me, hey, if you don't know anything else to do, just run down and find somebody to hit and do your deal, and that sounds wild, but, just being able to do that and go down, get in front of somebody, and especially it doesn't matter if you're a kickoff return or kickoff team, just the fact that you get one-on-one with a gentleman and try to keep him from doing what he wants to do.
That's right. And if you look back at a game and you look at the the yardage you give up in special teams or the yardage you gain in special teams, it's the third phase of the game, and it's cliche to say, everybody says we want to be good in the run game, stop the run, and be good in the kicking game. Well, you got to spend time in that, and our thing is we're trying to figure out a way to advance further in the playoffs. As we move forward as a program, and we know one area that we need to put more focus on is in special teams, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. You try not to put too many of your starters out there because you don't want to get guys, hurt on special teams, but at the end of the day, if you don't put enough of them out there, you're not good at it. I mean,
yeah.
2004, in 2004 when Auburn was really special, Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams were both on punt team. So, if those kind of guys can play on punt team, you watch Alabama, Najee Harris, Trent Richardson, those guys played on punt team. So we've tried to make our guys understand that, look, special teams is not extra duty. It's special teams for a reason, and we got to get better at it. Some of you starters have got to, step up and take on a role and be on special teams.
Well, you know what Kevin Creasy says. That's the reason why they call it special.
That's right. There's special teams for the special.
Yeah.
The kids are like, okay, the coach is he's filling me full of something here. I know better than that. But the good teams, the teams in our state, no different than your state. The teams that advance in the playoffs year in, year out, they're also, if you look at their numbers, they're very good at special teams, and their kids buy into that role. And they know it's important, and we've got to get to that point where our kids understand that this is, it's another step that we can take to make our program better if we buy into special teams and do a really good job at it.
Well, one of the stats that we talked about in the show earlier today, Oakland Patriots started the ball at the midfield mark on average, and MRA started at the 25. So I mean, you're talking about I only got 50 yards to go now. So
all right, as an ex offensive coordinator, any of them will tell you if I'm starting in midfield, I feel a little more freer than I do if I'm backed up inside my 20. And same way with defensively. If you've got a team pinned, if you're a really good punt team, you do a really good job of pinning the ball inside the 20. You can pin your ears back. In those areas of the field. So winning the field position game in big games, is a big deal because it changes your mindset, I think, a little bit, or at least it did mine, of play calls on offense, of where I was, and didn't want a kid to make a mistake and throw a pick six or whether it be a fumble or whatever. So, yeah, that field position battle is huge.
So now we move into Homewood, and that is a region game, and talk about Coach Paris. He's 1-1. Took on Vestavia Hills 35-0. Talk a little bit about your next opponent.
Well, the last time we played them was in 2019. We were down 21-6 and came back and beat them late in the game. If you know anything about Alabama high school football, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Homewood went through about 3 or 4 years of state championship teams. Coach Gann was there at the time, and their tradition is tremendous. It's like I told our kids, I said, we're in the middle of a trap here. I said, we go up and win 55-17, and we think we're really good. And Vestavia 7A team beats Homewood 35-0. So I'm sure they've had a very intense week of practice, and I know their tradition and their expectations. We're going to get the best of Homewood Friday night, and we're going to have to be able to, match that. Because Homewood's not used to getting beat 35-0 in this state, and they've got a heck of a quarterback. Kid had a UAB offer I think he got it last year. I'm not sure what happened in the portal and all that, but he's a hell of a player, and he's big, he's physical, and they've got a lot of players around him, and they're one of the best coach teams in the Birmingham area year in and year out. So we got our hands full Friday night for sure.
I sense in your voice maybe you're seeing a little relaxation from the guys on that are going to be wearing the helmets on Friday night as of right now, and maybe they're not taking this game as serious. And as we always say, man, them region games, they are the most important games because that's going to set the stage for the second half of the season, Coach. That's going to mean home games. That means a lot.
Well, it's the next game, and obviously, like I said, it's a big region game. I think we've practiced well this week. I don't know if that we think we're better than we are. I just kind of worry about, are they mentally focused and ready to go? I mean, it's going to be the best thing we played this far, and a team that's coming off a 35-0 loss is probably a little more hungry than they were before that game. So, we've got to match the intensity. We're at home. We're a tough team to beat at home. Our kids play extremely hard. We lose games at home. I'm not saying that, but our kids are going to fight. I know that. So we'll be ready, and we know they're going to be ready. So it should be a heck of a game Friday night with a huge crowd. I mean, we got Homewood's known for their large band. Our band's huge. It'll be a great atmosphere for high school football Friday night in Helena, Alabama.
Well, as you tell me, the gates open at 5 o'clock, and, it's every man for themselves in the city of Helena and those bleachers. And it doesn't matter if Stork Vision's set up or who's set up. Coach Busby is going to unravel the chain at 5 o'clock, kids, and it doesn't matter, once you get in, you get your seat. That's your seat for the next 3 hours, so 3-4 hours. So I do love the way you do things. You don't let a soul in. I mean, it is that stadium is blank. You did let me in to let me get a little bit of a head start, but love the respect and can't wait to be down there here in a couple of weeks. But we wish you the best of luck. We hope you have a great Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you real soon on Inside the Headset, Coach.
All right, good luck to all the guys in Tennessee, and everybody stay safe. And, just love coaching this great game, and go Huskies.
There you go. See you then, Coach. Bye.